Good evening and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to distribute the useLoading hook that we created in the last video. So just to recap briefly, we created a reusable useLoading hook that applies a skeleton loader to our elements, and we are also able to kind of drill down into those elements and individually toggle loading states to gain kind of that granular fine-grained control. And just a brief reminder, the way we did it was by giving the loading state to the hook and then adding this data loading property to each element that needed to receive the loading states. So really simple, really powerful. Let's now distribute this through npm so that other people can enjoy the fruits of our labor. So let's go ahead and go to the useLoading hook here that we've written in this project, and we'll just copy all of this. And I've set up a blank canvas here. And what that means is that we have a index.ts file where I'll paste this in. And we have a setup that allows us to build a TypeScript file here, and it's going to end up in this dist folder. So in tsconfig, we have our compiler options, which instructs TypeScript on how it's going to bundle this code or how it's going to transpile this code. And then we have our webpack config, and it's going to handle, let's see, we need to add .ts here as well. And that's just going to resolve the output to the dist, and the file name is going to be index.js. So just a really simple setup, nothing too fancy here. Our package JSON has the package name ready to go. We have the version, which is 1.00. We have the description, and we have the main, which is the file that's going to be distributed through this package. And we also have the path to our types. So since we're building a TypeScript bundle, we have specified in our TypeScript config that we want to have a declaration file automatically generated for us once we transpile this code. And in our package JSON, we are instructing where to find these types so that we get the correct types for our package when it's being imported and used. So for the people that's using TypeScript, this is going to be TypeScript ready out of the box, which is really good. So without further ado, let's go ahead and go into index.ts. And we have to do a little bit of change here because we hard-coded this loading class, but I think what we'll do is we'll receive it from the useLoading hook, and then that's going to be what we use to either add or remove depending on the loading state. So we'll hit save on that. And let's go ahead and do yarn build just to make sure that we can build our package. And it looks like it worked. So let's go ahead and see. We have our dist file folder, and inside we have our index.js file, and we have our index.dts file there, which holds our types. All right, great. Now I want to test that this works locally, so I'll do yarn link react useLoading. No, sorry, just yarn link. And I've already done it. So what this means is that I can now run yarn link react useLoading in any directory where I want to import this local package. So let's head over to this project right here, and I've already imported the useLoading from React useLoading and set this up with yarn link. So I've done yarn link React useLoading in the terminal here, and now this is using my local package. And you can see already the compiler is throwing a fit because we're now expecting to pass in 2 arguments, but got 1. So we're only passing in the loading state now, but we also need to pass the loading class that we defined. So let's go ahead and do this. And hit save. And now everything's compiling again. And we have our loader working again. So looks like we inadvertently removed a data loading property here. Just put that back on. And now we are giving loading to this here as well. We could also go into image and give a data loading class here just to give the loading to the button. And now that's also being controlled, even though you can see the border still. All right, so it seems to be working. Now we're using the local package. What we want to do is we want to distribute that. So we want it to be available on NPM. The first thing I'll do is I'll go to my GitHub. I'll create a new repository and I'll say React useLoading. And we'll go ahead and create that repository. And let's go ahead and do these steps here. So inside of here, I'll do git init to start a empty Git repository. I'll do git add and git commit add files. And then we need to go and add the lines of code instructed by GitHub here. So let's go ahead and set that up. And now we should have the files here in our repository. And what's left for us to do now is to publish this to npm. So I'll do npm publish. And you notice it's building, and that's because I have a prepare in my script. So before we run or before we publish, we always run this command right here, which makes sure that we build before we release something to npm. So I need to put in my one-time password just because I have two-factor authentication on my npm account. So I'll put that in. Let's just wait until that expires because it only has a few seconds left, but not to worry. We'll get a new one. And yeah, so we get an error here. Package is too similar to existing packages. So I'll do this instead. I'll rename it to my GitHub or npm username / React useLoading. And I'll publish it with access public. So I'll hit save on that. And let's do another try. And we'll need to put in a one-time password again. And there we go. Now we have the package up on npm, and we can go ahead and verify that by going to npm and searching for useLoading. And here it is. So now you could go to npm, you could download this package, and you could use it in your own project. So if you ever wondered how to publish something to npm, it's basically all there is to it. It's really simple, and you just need to make sure that you get your configuration right and everything in package JSON correct. So hopefully that was informative. If you liked it, please leave a like and subscribe. If not, let me know in the comments down below what I can improve. And I'll see you in the next video.